Okay, hello, this is Jim, the Keys bartender. I'm off to teach spin class. Yes, you heard that correctly. It's Sunday morning. I'm going live. It's 20 after 8. I got my coffee. I'm in the car. I'm on Route 1 heading south to the gym where I teach spin. And how, pray tell, would a bartender who works at Saturday night be teaching spin class on Saturday at 53 years old? Well, let me tell you a little story. You might find it interesting. You may find it a waste of time, but this is the story. I came down here 10 years ago, and I was married and I was separated. I didn't have any kids. I always say that because I want to sound like an asshole that leaves her kids. But we got separated, eventually divorced. I came down here at 44. I had been working out for a couple of years before then, but I was working out to maintain. And I had a pretty good idea that I was going to have to maintain that body for a while because I might be out there. And I thought I needed all the marketability I can to meet another woman. So that working out fit in that game plan. And I'm here in the Keys. I'm going to the gym for a couple of years. And I lift, do cardio, some running, rowing, but I didn't really like the run, but even though I would, and it was monotonous, I noticed at the gym they had these classes, these spin classes, stationary bikes. And I said, well, there's something, it looks intense and something like that, and you're doing it in a group, so at least for me, whenever I had to work out with a group, there's a certain thing of ego, and I'd have to work a little harder just to, keep up with the group. So I started taking spin class. And there was this friend of mine, this woman, a good-looking spin instructor, Deanna. Shout out to her if she ever gets to listen to this. I take her class, and she was exuberant. She was fun, and I loved going to the spin class with her. And I also became friends with another spin instructor, Julie, and she's there too. Beautiful girl in her own right, friend's wife actually. So I go to Julie and Deanna's class. Well, Deanna was there for a little under a year, I think, and she had a popular following. And towards the end of a year, she said she was going to be moving, and she said, Jim, you should think about becoming a spin instructor. And she goes, you'd be a good spin instructor. And she let me do a class, kind of pretend I was the instructor, and I ended up getting certified. And the thinking in my head was, I get a free membership, and my girlfriend, now my fiance at the time, I'd be able to pay for our memberships, and that'd be good. And I'd have to work out 4 or 5 days a week, during the class. That's a minimum. And hey, I get paid. I do this and all that. Well, I'll tell you something. Once you start turning an avocation into a vocation, something you like to do, a hobby, into a vocation, a job, it changes the dynamic of how you feel going to the place. When you start going to a place and it's work, it's not the same as going to a place you like to be, like going to the gym, you like working out. So I started working out that was my plan. I figure I'm becoming a spin instructor. I go and do this. So I started doing spinning. Now I force myself to go there. I don't teach as many classes. I teach on Sunday and Monday. Sometimes I pick up a couple other classes. But it is something. I'll tell you, you're working. Sometimes you get home late, maybe 12. And then you got it. It's a weird thing. When I was younger, I was kind of an early riser when I was young. And then, when you're a teenager and started going to college, I became a late riser. And then, when I'd be getting home sometimes at 6:30 in the morning, and now I'm getting up at that time. So that leads me into my next thing I'm talking about, getting older. It's, I work out, I try to maintain that, something to keep my body fighting that. You're fighting skirmishes against aging, and it's a war, not a battle, and it goes on every day, and you just keep on doing it. And I feel it helps me, and I do a lot of damage to my body by my lifestyle, by working late, having a couple drinks, perhaps by eating not the right thing all the time. But the good thing I do for myself is this working out part and some meditation. And I think this helps too. But you still can't hide some of the vestiges of aging, the things that show up, the gray hair. Luckily, I got it. I always throw that out to my dad, and I apologize, Dad. You dealt, a weak hand of cards. But, besides, just if you're going to say that's bad to be becoming bald, Dad, you are a really great investor. He's great at making financial decisions. So that's the plus. I think that's what you give off sometimes. But Warren Buffett seems to have a nice set of hair too. So I don't think there's a correlation between good financial decisions and that. Well, I think Bernie Madoff had a receding hairline, so he wasn't very good either. But you're good, Dad. I digress. We're talking about aging. So, coupled with this spinning, I also, I get up in the morning, I have a routine, I make the coffee, I jump in the shower, and I'm doing a thing, get out of the shower, comb my hair, and I said, boy, I used to have a dark head of hair, and now it's, it's shot through with gray. And I'm looking, it kind of looks like, if you're not paying attention, it's, I'm a sandy blonde. Not anymore. I mean, I guess I was born that way when I was like a year old. But I was thinking Grecian formula, and it just popped in my head. And I'm not going to do that, because I see these guys come in sometimes, and they look like a petrified prune with these wrinkles and the jet black hair. These guys, I mean, it's so stark, the difference between the quality of their skin and shrinking bodies and this jet black hair, and it just pops out. It's like a hat, a wild hat, like when Lady Gaga used to wear the hats. And I said, you know what? There is no way I'm going to do anything like that. It goes up there with the affectation of after. I have a feeling like when you're over 45, you don't get a tattoo, you don't get earrings, and plus you put the wrong one in. Everyone says that's not, you're expressing a certain lifestyle choice, which I think is just stupid. But and that goes for earplugs and stuff like that. Now, if you had them prior, more power to you. Keep on adding as you go on, but just remember your body's going to be shrinking. And so if you ever had, there's an old joke about, with tattoos and stuff like that, and it doesn't necessarily do with age. And I'm going to get back to age again. But the joke is these newlyweds go to Jamaica. And the groom is, he loves the bride. She's a beautiful woman, but he is deathly jealous of her. He just he's worried about the attention she gets from other men, and he's always protective. So he's on the alert the whole time they're in Jamaica, and they're out they go to a nightclub, right? Montego Bay. And he leaves the bar where she's sitting and goes to the bathroom, and there's this handsome Jamaican guy, and he's standing there staring at the urinal, and he looks down, and his wife's name is Wendy, and he looks down and he sees a tattoo, and he noticed the guy was the guy that was talking to his wife briefly one time, and he sees a tattoo, a fresh tattoo on his penis. Why he's looking at his penis, that's another part of the story, but I'm not going to tell that one. But he sees the name Wendy. He starts getting wound up real quick, and he gets all pissed off, and he starts talking to the guy, and he says, hey, what's the deal? Why do you have that tattoo of my wife's name on your penis? He goes, what do you mean? He goes, your wife's name is Welcome to Jamaica, have a nice day? You see, it was flaccid, so the whole tattoo shrunk up to Wendy, and all those letters are in it. So I had to explain that joke. So I don't know how good that was, and I won't hear you joking. But if you think it's funny, that's fine. Okay, getting back to the age thing. So yeah, I start thinking Grecian formula. I'm thinking, oh well, maybe I have to take. I do take the testosterone replacement because it goes down. It's one of those things that go down as you get older, and that seems to help a lot of things, if you know what I mean. And the other thing is, I start looking at things differently. You know what I mean? I mean, I'm not paying attention to like the commercials for the jitterbug. I know how to use smartphones and technology. I don't have a fear for technology. I'm not trying to fax something through a modem, or something like that. I'm not using technology incorrectly. But there are things that lead me to believe I am getting older. I'm watching the news the other day, and there was the meeting of the G7, and I'm looking, wow, that the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel, is not a bad-looking woman. Now, there's two things. I just suggested that Angela Merkel wasn't a bad-looking woman. Not that she isn't. It's because she's older, a bigger woman, so I said that. But then, the term I use, not a bad-looking woman. I mean, it was only like 25 years ago, you go, he's hot as fuck, or sexy, or, whatever the terminology it was saying. And I could use that shit to give out girls. But I mean, I have a tendency to go towards the nerdy comments, and sometimes because I'm a bartender, I use an expletive every so often because it seems appropriate at the time. It's just another tool in the box. I'm not talking tool. I'm a tool in the box, actually, probably. But I mean that word, and I'm getting off the age thing. So yeah, whenever you're looking at this woman, normally you would look at like if you're watching Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and you might be getting old when you start thinking, oh, that's a cute girl that Ferris is going out with. The old Matthew Broderick one, and not that there's a remake yet, but they make a remake every goddamn movie, and usually are shitty. But looking at Ferris Bueller, she's thinking, yeah, the girlfriend's cute and stuff like that. But you're looking at the mom, and you go, the mom is really hot, and you realize that is either you have a fetish for older women or you are getting older, and that's a healthy thing, I believe. And the way I'm addressing right now, I'm not raging against the dying of the light. I think that's a Keats poem, and so I'm not dying. I think I'm still in the middle part of my prime until some health thing may or may not arise. And eventually will, it's surety, unless they come up some miracle thing, age and death do occur. And that's what people get frightened of. But you do your best to carry on for yourself and your family. And that's kind of downer, I guess, right there. But I'm having a great time. And I'm almost there at the gym, and I got to go and pretend. Well, I'm not going to pretend. I got to pretend to be energetic, but I will be energetic because when I get in there, I got these people that show up. It's a holiday weekend right now. It's Sunday, a Memorial Day weekend, and it's 8:30. And there's, I bet you, and this is an old thing too, probably $dollars to donuts. That's as old as shit. That thing. That there's going to be several people waiting in line to sign up for the class. I mean, you'd think that somebody would have a different interest, but I'll tell you, if you show up for exercise on a holiday weekend, you are committed, or should be committed. There's a whole shitload of iguanas right there, like an iguana convention. Listen, this is Keys Bartender signing off. Have a great day and a safe Memorial Day weekend. It's Sunday. We still have a little more to go, and I'll be seeing you on Wednesday from the Catch Restaurant, starting at 4:30. Thank you. Goodbye.